mix where it is more at a individual consumer level, firm level, market level, then took it one level up primarily at a country level, which was macroeconomics dealing with the similar things but at a country level. Now we are talking about some basic aspects in international relations, international trade, international terminology used in international context, and these kind of things. So whenever we are talking about international trade, so whenever we are talking about international trade, we are talking from the dimension of the free trade among the various countries. We keep hearing in various news that probably India is having some discussions with US, or India is having some discussions with Russia, or some kind where some ministers from here go there for various kind of discussions for some kind of a trade agreements, right, between both the countries. That is what is a bilateral kind of trade agreements, where the intention is an economic welfare. The reason being, generally speaking, some countries specialize in some areas. Probably India as such could be a very heavy specialist, let's say in jute or in some other cultivations, or probably in IT services. So there are some areas where each country has an advantage compared to the other countries. So by doing, and there are so many weaknesses for every country. Some country may not be good at agriculture, whereas some country is very good at agriculture. So basically, whichever area they are good at, they can do it in large volumes and have some kind of a trade agreement with the other country. I'm good in, my country is good in agriculture, whereas some other country is good in industry, some manufacturing part, right? Probably I can produce more of agricultural products than what I require to consume, whereas the other country also can produce more of the can manufacture more of the components or parts than they require to consume, and that excesses can very well be exchanged or probably got into a deal with between both the countries. This will typically promote the overall economic welfare across the world. So one country can specialize in the production of one good and it can get into the exporting of those kind of goods. Whereas, and at the same time, because of the heavy volumes that it is specializing in, it can even get into the economies of scale also. And and because of, let's say, you are importing a lot of goods from various places, you can always look out for the best, right? Probably I'm not good at machines. My country is not good at, let's say, some machines. So they have to import it from somewhere. So as a part of the importing, I can actually look out for country A, B, C, D who is producing the finest quality machines, and I can evaluate all those four qualities and basically choose on the one as a part of the deal. So there is a exposure to various variety, and because every country specializes in couple of aspects, I can very well choose from which country I should get into. And at the same time, because because each country specializes only in a few aspects, intense competition gets created in each of the aspects. Because probably India is heavily specialized in IT. Now you will find lots and lots of people fighting for the IT jobs, because I mean that creates a lot of opportunities, and at the same time a lot of competition also gets created in that space. So more competition and even more efficient allocation. Probably a country good at agriculture, if you ask it immediately to go for IT, it may not do a good job in this IT. But if you ask them to produce a few more agricultural products, they have a variety methods of doing agriculture. So they have already specialized in that space. They can get this product out at a much cheaper rate. So even when they are exporting it to this, it may look like both the countries are having an advantage, because if it produces it on its own, it will be very costly for them, for agriculture, because they are not that good at it. Or in the IT area, if they are the other country which has specialized in IT but not that good in agriculture, if it has to produce some agricultural product, probably a not so fine quality product can come out. So that is what happens even in our regular scale also. The recruitments happen that way itself, right? Forget about at the international level, right? One person cannot do all the jobs. So we are trying to find someone who is expert in some job and probably recruit him. That's how the team is growing. Here also at a country level we are talking of a similar thing. Some country specializes in some aspect, whereas some other countries are good in some other aspect. At the end, these countries coming together as a part of their bilateral trade relationships, resulting in a mutual benefit for both the countries. So this is what we typically call as production possibilities frontier. Look at this. Let's say we are talking about two countries, A and B. These are the two countries, A and B. Here, whenever we plot a graph between two products, two broad category of products. So here we are taking machines and food. Similarly, for the second country also, we are trying to plot machines and food. Now, every country has some resources, right? Like people or capital, or we talked about macroeconomic resources that are available. So skills or capital or land or labor, whatever it is. With all those things, if I say, okay, if all my people, all my capital is used to produce machines, how many machines I can produce? With the kind of expertise I have, how many machines I am going to produce? Probably in this case, we are saying that almost these many machines can be produced, right? Probably around 20 million. This is 18. So probably around 22 million is what I can produce with all kinds of skills, expertise, knowledge, whatever is there. Now, if the same set of resources are redirected towards food with nothing invested in machines, then probably these many millions of food, million tons of food can be produced. And probably if I divide it, probably some money between machines and some resources between machines and some resources between food, then probably all these points, all these points can be done depending on how much I am allocating towards food and how much I am allocating towards machine. So the graph joining all these points for a particular country is what we call as a production possibility frontier. Means with the kind of resources the country is having, any of those points is feasible for that country. Either it can produce these many million tons of food and 0 tons of machines, 0 million machines, or they can produce these many million machines and 0 tons of food, or probably somewhere here means these many million machines and probably this many tons of food. Let's say this is how this country can produce. Similarly, for the other country, when I am trying to plot with whatever the resources that are available, this is the kind of graph that we are getting. Now, I am bringing in a second scenario that currently the country is producing at this level. I mean, requirement wise, the country requires 18, country A, what we are saying is it requires 18 million machines. This is also one of the possibility which they can operate at. So 18 million machines and 12 million tons of food. This is what is their requirement. Now the same thing if I am going with the country B. For them, they require these many machines. How much is this? So this is 7 million machines. Right? This is 7 million machines and 4 million tons of food. This is what they can produce, which means all we are saying is, if you look at the kind of a slope at which they are operating, for every, if we are seeing this slope, for every 1 million machines, for every 1 million machine, they are compromising on 3 million tons of food. That is the way they are operating it. For every 1 million machines, to produce one extra million machines, they are compromising on 3 million tons of food. Whereas the other country, to produce 1 million machines extra, they have to compromise on 5 million tons of food. Now, who is having an advantage in producing machines? A. Machine A can produce, country A can produce machines more comfortably, because just by compromising 3 million tons of food, they are able to produce 1 million machines, whereas these guys have to compromise on 5 million tons of food. Means these guys are very good at food, whereas the other guys are very good at machine comparatively. I am only talking about between the two countries. See, I mean, as a part of the slope of this graph, the slope of this graph. So here, when I am looking at the slope, this slope, the straight line, the change in the y to the change in x. So this, no, this divided by this. See, from here to here, when I am taking the change, this is 1 million, and this we are calling as 3 million. At a point